Joe Biden's poll numbers are in deep doo-doo. The latest stinker comes from CNN, where his approval is now just at 39%. And 67% of Democrats want to dump him from the ticket. But here's the real kick in the you-know-what. Biden is struggling against all his Republican contenders, especially Nikki Haley, who is crushing Joe by 6 points. But some Dems and the media are trying to put on a happy face.
We will win re-election. We will win re-election. There is too much at stake, and the American people know it.
When it comes to results and performance, President Biden has a spectacular record.
The president's doing a great job. And how do I know that? I just look at what he has delivered.
Maybe we don't do a good enough job messaging about things like the infrastructure bill and the PACT Act.
You'd rather have the very popular policies Biden running on versus the Republicans who seem to want to focus on very contentious issues.
President Biden's policy agenda is so popular that Republicans are running on it.
What a mess. Does this help Nikki Haley? I mean, it seems like she might have got a bounce from that debate.
She did, and the polls show that. And then in a couple of weeks, there's another opportunity. I think there's more money coming in her campaign. And then, so she's kind of got the wind at her back, right? Mm-hmm. And the other reason you know that is because yesterday, Biden's team directly hit her, and her alone, right? Mm-hmm. So, but these numbers that say Biden is losing to anyone in the Republican field probably means that he's softening within his own party. So he has to shore up his base if he has a prayer to win re-election. And I think that's one of the reasons you saw the announcement yesterday about Alaska and canceling oil and gas leases, right? Because what do they care about so much, right? Climate change. And Elizabeth Warren and others can go on TV and say, I know Joe Biden is terrific because just look at his list of accomplishments. But if they look at their own polling within the Democratic Party, they think he's too old to run by like 69%. And 82% of them said they'd be willing to look at somebody else. Mm-hmm. That means that he is not their favorite.
Right.
And also, Kamala Harris, she wasn't even in the second tier when they asked Democrats. She was at the bottom. They got an issue.
Always on the bottom. Judge.
What?
Nothing. Just saying hello. What I always love is whenever there's trouble, they always say it's the messaging and not the actual policies.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the fact is that only 5% of voters, of Democratic voters, say they have zero concerns of the Biden candidacy. To me, that just jumped off the page. So that they all have concerns, but they're not ready to kind of jump away from them, although 67% want a different candidate. But I think what CNN did by showing Trump ahead of Biden and Nikki Haley as well, I think that it's kind of like an invitation to the rest of the Democratic Party. Look, we're admitting now that Biden can be beat by all these people. Maybe it's time for another candidate to jump in. But I think it speaks to the authoritarianism of the Democrat Party that they're like so locked in with Joe Biden when so many people are concerned about everything from his cognitive decline to his age to, and by the way, in 2020, I mean, he didn't have all the negatives he has now with inflation and the consumer issues and the mortgage rates, et cetera, et cetera. And Kamala being convinced they're going to win doesn't mean a thing.
Mm-hmm. You know, Harold, 67% want a different candidate, but does that really matter when all you guys just essentially fall in line come 2024 or whatever the next year is?
You're talking to me?
Yes, Harold, I am. How dare you?
Because you were looking at Jesse as you. I mean,
I get you two confused.
I look like AI also?
Yeah, both of you.
The amazing thing about that poll, Greg, is that most voters don't want Trump or Biden, which I think we're going to find in that poll you showed with the other candidates. They're all polling pretty closely or a little ahead. I think Ramaswamy was behind, DeSantis was tied, and the others were ahead. And Nikki Haley, who I thought had a really good debate, is obviously continuing to reap benefit from that. Two, I think as you think about the issues, I think one of the things, whomever the Republican might be and whomever the Democrat might be, and I think that the more these things come out about President Biden in the coming weeks and months, the Whitmer name, the Newsom name, and other names you're going to continue to hear populate the field. I think two issues are going to really help voters decide how they're going to pick a candidate. One is abortion. And Jesse and I go back and forth, and we've joshed each other here on the show a little bit. Because of the way I said it, Republicans got to get right on this issue to be, I think, competitive nationally in this presidential race, because I think the question will be asked of whomever the nominee is on either side, will you appoint justices or judges who come down on one side or the other? And people can decide what they want, but the voters are telling us in conservative states and moderate states and liberal states that they want more openness on this issue. Two, the issues of crime and border. Republicans are at an advantage on that versus Democrats. So it will be, I think those three issues will be the issues that decide for many, many Americans as we think about identity and identification and culture going forward. And if I were someone thinking about running for president or running for president, I would be thinking very seriously about how I confront these issues and how I talk about them in the battleground states.
Getting closer. Did you hear that, Jesse? Did you hear that? What he just said? He's moving closer. Screw Newsom.
I'm going to send you a check.
Yeah, me too. I don't think we're allowed to, but I'll give him cash too.
Yeah.
You know, Jesse, the whole thing is like, you notice that, you know, obviously Biden has 1 million negatives. He has more negatives than an electron slumber party. Yes. But it doesn't matter because the media is just going to let him fly anyway. It's like nobody really has a choice.
I don't know about that. CNN looks like they want Trump. You can tell they're pushing Biden out so fast, he doesn't even know what's hit him. Think about it. The quality of life in this country has eroded under Joe Biden. They're talking about bringing masks back, Greg.
Yes.
The border's a mess. It's killing wages because of the illegals. Inflation's chewing up your paycheck. And food's expensive. Steak and eggs are off the charts. Bread's off the charts. You can't go out to eat. Not only can't you buy a house, you can't build one because lumber and construction costs. You can't rent because the rent's too damn high. Where have we heard that before? So it's an absolute joke when you walk outside, when you have crime and you have the guy bragging about infrastructure. The only thing he's broken ground on is he's building an anti-racist bird-watching bridge in Arizona. I mean, get out of here with that. Everyone is leaving. Democrats, independents, blacks, Hispanics, young people, they don't like the guy.
No bridge should be racist.
That's right. He's catching on. Yeah, I like this guy. No, he's got problems, big problems.
Oh, man. Well, my stance on masks, only for the unattractive. All right.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.